Alas, a sinner can reform, but stupid is forever.
Welcome to King Midas Part 2. Once a fool, always a fool. When we last left King Midas, he had just come to the grim realization that what he considered to be a golden gift in reality was a golden curse. It all began when Silenus, a mentor to the god of wine Dionysus, drunkenly stumbled on his donkey and fell asleep in the king's royal rose garden, where the king's gardeners discovered him the next day happily snoring away. The royal gardeners covered Silenus with roses, wreaths, and garlands, and brought him before King Midas, who was seriously amused. Silenus then proceeded to regale the king and the court with fantastic tales of their journeys across Asia, India, and the world. After 10 days, having made sure King Midas's wine cellars had run completely dry, Silenus asked to go back to Dionysus. King Midas was more than happy to oblige. Dionysus, or Cousin Danny as I like to call him, was delighted to get his mentor back. So he granted Midas anything he wanted. Any wish he could imagine was his. As you well know, King Midas chose the touch of gold. The fool. Okay, mythmaniacs, you know the drill. Grab a cup of ambrosia, curl up in your favorite chair, invite a friend over if you want, and let's go find out all about the demise of King Midas. Because a sinner can reform, but stupid is forever. King Midas frolicked around his gardens, testing his newfound gift and delighting as everything he touched turned to gold. A nightingale, the bench he sat on, everything, the roses, his beautiful roses, all solid gold. What a gift. Eventually he tired, grew thirsty and hungry, and went inside the palace to eat. Much to his dismay, what he tried to drink or eat, everything turned to gold. Midas reached down to pet his favorite dog, Muffler, and the poor thing turned to solid gold. That's when King Midas finally realized that what he thought was a gift, in reality was a curse. And that was the moment King Midas lost it. A scream, raw, desperate, echoed through the palace, all the way to the camp of Dionysus. This isn't fun anymore. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm royally screwed. And then came the worst of it. His daughter, hearing his cries, ran to him, wrapped her arms around him to comfort him. Flash. Gold. One moment alive, the next a perfect statue. Cold. Silent. Gone. He tried everything. Touched her again and again and again, nothing. Same with Muffler, still gold, still gone, still his fault. Meanwhile, up on Olympus, they were watching, courtesy of Helios, who sees everything. And Dionysus, he was loving it. Satyrs were laughing, maenads were howling, the whole place was in stitches. Best entertainment they'd had in ages. Back in the palace, Midas ran its circles, begging for help, grabbing, lunging, reaching. But no one would come near him. Smart people, very smart people. Finally, broken, he fell to his knees and begged, Dionysus, please, take this curse away. I've learned. I swear I've learned. And to his credit, Dionysus listened. He remembered Midas's kindness to Silenus, and he knew the lesson had landed. So he gave him a way out.
Go to the source of the Pactolus River. Wash yourself in its waters, and your curse will be gone. And one more thing. Carry your daughter there yourself.
Now, a life-size statue, solid gold, is not light, but Midas didn't complain, not this time. He reached the river and dove in, head first, desperate, hopeful. The power left him, flowed into the water, into the sands, and to this day, the river glitters with gold. He washed his daughter, and she returned, alive, warm, real. And Midas, a little older, a little wiser, he finally understood that gold is not everything. Oh, and Muffler? Yeah, he stayed gold. Look, Midas loved his dog, but carry a full-size golden retriever across the country? Let's be realistic. Besides, old habits die hard and gold still spends. And that is the story of King Midas, the man who wanted everything and almost lost everything that mattered. But the story doesn't end there, does it? Now, you'd think after the whole turning your life into gold and nearly starving to death situation, King Midas would have learned his lesson. And to be fair, he did, a little. But let's just say wisdom came slowly, very, very slowly, because, like Uncle Homer used to say, while a sinner can reform, stupid is forever. After the golden disaster, Cousin Danny, still grateful for Midas's kindness to Salamis, gave him a second chance, and not just any chance, a throne. Midas became king of Phrygia, adopted by the legendary ruler, Gordius. Now Gordius, that's a story. A simple man, a farmer. One day he looks up and sees a royal eagle perched on his ox cart, and it stays there all morning, no matter where he goes. You know, normal farmer stuff. So Gordius does what any reasonable man would do. He goes looking for answers. At the gates of the city, he meets a young prophetess. She sees the eagle and immediately loses it.
You must sacrifice to Zeus. Now.
And naturally, she insists on coming with him. Also, she was very beautiful. Real hot. Just saying. So he says, yeah, she can come with him, as long as she agrees to marry him. Meanwhile, the king of Phrygia had just died. No heir, no successor, just one prophecy. The next king will arrive in an ox cart with his bride. And, oh yeah, there would be this amazing, majestic eagle perched on his ox cart. And right on cue, in rolls Gordius. Ox cart, bride, eagle, boom, king. At first, Gordius saw all the citizens rushing towards his ox cart, and he thought they were attacking him. He tried to defend himself. He even threw vegetables at the crowd, which they took as royal gifts. But, grateful for his sudden rise, Gordius dedicated his cart to Zeus, and he tied it in place with a knot, and not so complex, so impossible, that no one could untie it. And then came the prophecy. Whoever unties this knot shall rule all of Asia. Centuries passed. No one succeeded until one man showed up. Alexander the Great. He studied the knot, walked around it, considered it, and then, shing, cut it in half. Problem solved. Any questions? He asked with a smirk. And just like that, the prophecy was fulfilled. Alexander became Lord of Asia, conqueror of the known world. Funny, isn't it? Gordius, giving nothing, became a king, and Midas, his adopted son, given everything, almost lost it all. And Alexander, he didn't solve the problem, he redefined it. And that, mythmaniacs, is how one man tied the knot and another cut right through it. But let's get back to our guy, King Midas. Now, after everything, the gold, the curse, the near total collapse of his life, you'd think he'd learned. You'd think he'd tread carefully, especially when dealing with the gods. Yeah, no. Because somehow, some way, King Midas ends up a judge in a musical contest between Apollo and a mortal. Yeah, that's already a bad sign. Now, this all started with my brilliant aunt, Athena. She crafted a double flute from stag bone and played it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. Only problem? Every time she played, her cheeks puffed out, her face went red, and to the other goddesses, Hera and Aphrodite, it was hilarious. So Athena did what any dignified goddess would do. She threw the flute away into the reeds, and she cursed it. Anyone who picked it up would regret it. Enter Marsyas, a satyr, not exactly known for musical genius. He finds the flute, picks it up, blows into it, and suddenly, he's incredible. Virtuoso, legend, crowds gather, people cheer, coins flow. Fame grows, wealth grows, ego, oh yeah, ego explodes. And Marsyas makes the classic mistake. He forgets where the talent came from. And in his arrogance, he challenges Apollo to a contest. Winner takes everything. Loser doesn't. Yeah, that it's not gonna end well. Now, judging this little disaster was the river god Timelus. And, for reasons I still don't understand, King Midas. Yeah, him again. Marsyas played first, and to be fair, he was amazing. Truly, the crowd was stunned. Then Apollo played. And it wasn't even Timaeus. Timaeus declared Apollo the winner. Rightfully so. Everyone agreed, except Midas. Because our boy Midas, in his infinite wisdom, declares, "I think Marsyas was better." Oh, no. Now, to be fair, Marsyas held his own for a while. Every note Apollo played, the flute answered, perfectly, flawlessly. But remember, that wasn't Marsyas. That was Athena's magic, and her curse was still in play. The music rose, higher, stranger, more beautiful than anything I'd ever heard. Even the 9 muses were there taking notes. This wasn't a contest anymore. It was something else. And then Apollo got bored. He flipped his lyre upside down and played. Something new, something impossible, something no mortal could ever match. Marsyas stared, tried, failed, and finally he lowered the flute. Contest over. Everyone knew who won. Everyone except one man. Guess who? Marsyas was better. O Midas. Earth to Midas. Come in, Midas. Now, Apollo does not take losing well, especially when he hasn't lost. Marsyas had challenged a god, and for that, he paid severely. Then Apollo turned to Midas, and this time, the king understood. Too late. If you have the taste of an ass, Apollo said, you may as well have his ears. Flash. And just like that, King Midas became a donkey. Midas panicked, covered the ears with a tall cap, told no one except his barber. Now, that's a problem because secrets don't like to stay buried. The barber tried, he really did, but eventually he cracked.
King Midas has donkey ears,
He whispered into the reeds. But the earth heard, the reeds heard, the wind heard, and soon everyone heard.
The whispers became laughter. The laughter became chants.
Take off the cap. Show us your ears.
And that, mythmaniacs, was the end of King Midas. Some say he took his own life. Others say despair consumed him. Either way, his story ended, not in gold, but in shame. He was given a gift, wasted it, given a second chance, wasted that one too. Because while a sinner can reform, stupid is forever. You would think, after everything, the gold, the curse, the humiliation, King Midas would finally understand. You'd think. One day, without warning, the earth opened. A vast chasm, bottomless, hungry, threatening to swallow everything. The people panicked. The elders gathered, ideas were thrown around, some brilliant, some less so. One guy even suggested flooding the hole and calling it lakefront property. He was not taken seriously. Finally, an oracle spoke. If the king throws his most precious possession into the abyss, it will close. Midas thought, looked around, considered his options, and learned absolutely nothing. He threw gold. He threw muffler, his golden dog. He threw silver, treasure beyond measure. The abyss did not care. It just kept getting bigger. Because the oracle didn't say valuable. It said precious. And Midas' son, Anchares, understood. A human life is worth more than gold. So his son rode forward, without hesitation, and he leapt. The earth closed. Silence returned. The danger passed. The price was paid. And Midas at last lost something he could never replace. His son, his only son. He had gold. He had power. He had chances. And he wasted them all. Because a sinner can reform, but stupid is forever.